Hi Copic in the craft room friends, Michelle Houghton here. I have a brand new image from 3 Room Studios. This is my friend Sandy Boone's little dog, and she has created a stamp, or a whole stamp set, excuse me, with him as the feature image. And so there's all these fun little puppy dog images. I'm going to be doing this one that I have turned right side up of her little furry friend. So I'm going to start with E50 and we'll pick up the pace here shortly. And I'm keeping the little dog's picture up because this particular time, I'm trying to make it look like her little dog, knowing that that's who she modeled this after. So then I'm going to add a series of colors kind of warming up this little puppy dog. It is mostly white, or has a white look about it, but it has this creamy tone and some gray tones as well in certain areas. So I added a little of that E50 and then E53. I am going to add some warm grays, and I'm actually adding, I did some W1 and it's cooling it, or it's not really cooling it, but it's graying it down, so kind of desaturating it. And now I'm going into for some fine details with W5. Coming back with the W1, kind of emphasizing some of those areas that we would find a shadow kind of under the little ruff of his nose, under his head, down on his neck, kind of at the base level of his ears. And then I'm going to do some more. I'm actually going to do a similar effect with an E70. And if you know your E's or your earth tones pretty well in the Copic world, the E7s have kind of a purplish or mauve tone to them, which I think is really going to work perfectly with these E5s to kind of cool those down and create some depth to this little guy, because there's not a whole lot of color on him. So we're trying to make sure he still looks fuzzy and cuddly. And then I am starting on his blanket that he's all wrapped up in after his little bath. And I'm doing a series of V's, violets. And I'm actually going from dark to light. And then you'll see me bounce back and forth between those colors. So it's a series of V, 2-8, 2-5, 2-2, and 2-0. But I'll let you kind of watch as I'm creating those pleats and folds in that fabric, going from dark and finding those deepest creases and working my way to light. So next I am going to put them into a little space, and I'm going to create a little wood floor. So I'm very lightly creating kind of a baseboard to the back, and then picking a point in the background and creating a wood floor that kind of spans out underneath them. Now the reason I'm using that one little point, you'll notice my little ruler or straight edge specifically, I'm going from the point and kind of fanning those out, and that's going to make it look like that floor is coming out underneath him and give me a real easy guideline to get those looking correct. So E25, I am going right over my pencil lines. I know that that's going to cover that up. If it picks up a little lead, it's okay. It's not going to affect that pencil or that marker at all. But that's going to give me those guidelines. And now I can start using my wood floor colors. And the E25 is going to be the darkest. E31 is going to base this. So I'm literally going to go over all of what I just did. It's not going to disappear it. It will soften it a little bit, and that's just fine. And then I'll come in with an E23 to create that wood grain texture, or start that. And I'm going to slow it down so you can see how quickly I actually do this. So here it comes, little real-time action. Here we go. So you're going to notice my hand is still moving fairly quickly, and that's what's going to help make those uneven, kind of wiggly lines. I'm going in the direction of the boards, back and forth, kind of going all the way off the edge as best I can, coming back, starting at the one end, working underneath and right up to that little dog bed. I've got a couple places where my marker kind of swooped up, so I'm going to need to come back and kind of work on some other little lines to break those up a little bit. But this gives you an idea of how quickly my hand really does work across wood. And then we're going to speed it back up. So if you need to see the real time again, just back up a little on the video and you can see how quick I'm moving. This is even faster now, so we can make sure to get this video done in a reasonable amount of time. The last thing I'll do on the wood floor is I will come back in with that E25 and darken up some of those edges of the board. So I'm looking for where the boards connect. I don't need a solid hard line. In fact, I don't want that. But I'm adding a few little squiggles with the E25 and then reinforcing the edges of those boards. I'm going to add a very light cast shadow underneath the dog bed. I'm not trying to do a lot of detail, just adding where it's touching the floor. Real simple with a BV20, goes right over the top of the wood floor that I just did. And then I've got this little bed that he's sitting in. Oh, sorry, background first. I've got the BG70, and this is going to fill in all of that background. All right, now we have the dog bed. Sorry about that. We've got a BG72, a BG75, and then I am going to go back and hit the edge with the BG70 to lighten it back up just a little bit. All right, so there you go. We've got this cute little guy. I will add a sentiment and put him on a card. But this is this adorable set from 3 Room Studio. We've got 3 little doggies and tons of little sentiments and some bubbles. You're going to see real faintly the image from the back of that cardstock showing through, but that will disappear once the ink dries. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stop by scrapweaver.com for all my latest doings and have a happy, colorful day.